Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to our official YouTube channel. Today I am talking about world's most dangerous ocean in the world. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share my videos. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of Earth's 5 oceanic divisions. It extends from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean, or, depending on definition, to Antarctica in the south, and is bounded by the continents of Asia and Australia in the west and the Americas in the east. Of the 3 major oceans, the Pacific is by far the largest, occupying about 1/3 of the surface of the globe. Its area, excluding the South China Sea, encompasses about 62.5 million square miles, 161.76 million square km. It has double the area and more than double the water volume of the Atlantic Ocean, the next largest division of the hydrosphere, and its area more than exceeds that of the whole land surface of the globe. The Pacific Ocean stretches from the Bering Strait to 60 degrees south latitude through more than 120 degrees of latitude, nearly 9,000 miles, about 14,500 kilometers. Its greatest latitudinal extent measures some 12,000 miles, about 19,000 kilometers, along latitude 5 degrees north, between the coasts of Colombia in South America and the Malay Peninsula in Asia. The mean depth of the Pacific, excluding adjacent seas, is 14,040 feet, 4,280 meters, and its greatest known depth is 36,201 feet, 11,034 meters, in the Mariana Trench, also the greatest depth found in any ocean. In the northern hemisphere, the Pacific Ocean meets the Arctic Ocean in the Bering Sea. In the southern hemisphere, the Pacific and Atlantic mix in the relatively narrow Drake Passage between Tierra del Fuego in South America and Graham Land in Antarctica, and the Pacific Ocean and the Southern Ocean meet at the 60 degrees south parallel. The separation between the Pacific and Indian Oceans is less distinct, but generally it is considered to lie along the line of islands extending eastward from Sumatra, through Java to Timor, thence across the Timor Sea to Cape Londonderry in Australia. To the south of Australia, the boundary extends across the Bass Strait and thence from Tasmania to 60 degrees south. Because of the pattern of major mountain systems of the globe, a relatively small proportion, 1/7, of the total continental drainage enters the Pacific, a total drainage area of less than about 3 times the total area of Australia. Of the rivers that drain into the Pacific, those of China and Southeast Asia are of the greatest importance. The basins of those rivers support more than 1/4 of the world's population. The eastern boundary of the Pacific is associated with the American Cordilleran System, which stretches from Alaska in the north to Tierra del Fuego in the south. Except for its extreme northern and southern sections, which are characterized by fjords and their numerous off-lying islands, and except for the deeply indented Gulf of California, the coastal boundary is relatively regular and the continental shelf narrow. The western, or Asiatic, coastal boundary, in contrast, is irregular. Although the mountain systems there lie roughly parallel to the coast, as they do on the eastern Pacific coastlands, the western Pacific is noted for its many marginal seas. From north to south they include the Bering Sea, the Sea of Okhotsk, the Sea of Japan, East Sea, the Yellow Sea, the East China Sea, and the South China Sea. Their eastern boundaries are formed by southward jutting peninsulas or island arcs or both. It is of oceanographic significance that the great rivers of eastern Asia, including the Amur, the Huanghe, Yellow River, the Yangtze, the Shi and Pearl, Zhu, and the Mekong, enter the Pacific indirectly by way of the marginal seas. The seaward boundary of the western Pacific region is marked by a broken line of oceanic trenches, extending from the Aleutian Trench in the north through the Kuril and Japan Trenches and southward to the Tonga and Kermadec Trenches, terminating close to the northeast of North Island, New Zealand. Its structure is more complex than that of the eastern region. Characteristically associated with the ocean trenches of the western region are festoons of either peninsulas or islands or both. The islands, which include those of Japan as well as numerous smaller islands, represent the upper parts of mountain systems that rise abruptly from the deep ocean floor. The island clusters of the western Pacific form the boundaries of the several wide and deep continental seas of the region.